Here's something that might come as a relief. You do not need a complicated, expensive, or restrictive diet to stay healthy after 70. You don't need exotic superfoods or supplements with names you can't pronounce. The truth is far simpler and far kinder than that. A handful of ordinary, familiar foods eaten regularly can do more for your health than almost anything else. After 70, what you eat matters more than it ever has. Your body has changed in quiet ways, and the right foods can help protect your heart, your mind, your bones, your digestion, and your energy, all at once, all from your own kitchen. So today I'm going to share 5 simple foods that seniors should try to eat every day. None of them are fancy. All of them are easy to find and easy to prepare. And the 4th one I'll share is the most overlooked of them all, the one so many older adults are missing, even though their bodies need it every single day. And it touches nearly everything about how you feel. We'll get there together. Before we begin, one quick and important note, and I'll come back to it at the end. I'm not a doctor, and nothing here is medical advice. These are the general, well-known principles about food that apply to most healthy older adults. But your body and your health are your own. So please treat this as a friendly starting point for a conversation with your doctor, never as a prescription. With that said, here's what I love about today's topic. This isn't about dieting or giving things up or counting anything. It's about gently adding a few good, simple foods to your days. Foods that work quietly to keep your whole body well. Think of it not as a restriction, but as a small gift you give yourself at each meal. So today we'll look at why food matters even more after 70, then walk through the 5 everyday foods one by one, and finish by showing you how easily they fit into a single ordinary day. If that sounds good, take a moment to subscribe. We share calm, trustworthy advice for older adults every week, and I'd love to have you with us. All right, let's begin. First, why does what you eat matter even more after 70? It's a fair question because for most of our lives, we could eat more or less what we liked and get away with it. But something shifts as we age, and understanding it changes how you think about every meal. Here's the heart of it. After 70, most of us eat less than we used to. Appetites shrink, meals get smaller, and snacking falls away. At the very same time, our bodies often become less efficient at absorbing and using the nutrients in our food. So we're taking in less and using less of what we take in. That means every single bite has to work harder for us. There's simply less room for food that doesn't give anything back. This is why what doctors sometimes call empty calories, foods that fill you up but offer little nourishment, like sugary snacks, white bread, and processed treats, become a real problem after 70. When you only have room for a few small meals and one of them is empty calories, you've missed a precious chance to nourish a body that needs it. At this stage of life, every meal is an opportunity, and you don't have many to spare. So the goal isn't to eat more. For most of us, it's to make what we do eat count, to choose foods rich in the things our bodies are hungry for, even when our appetites are small. Nutrient-rich, not calorie-rich. That's the whole idea behind the 5 foods we're about to cover. Let me tell you about Clarence. He's 76, and like a lot of people his age, his appetite had quietly faded over the years. He wasn't eating badly exactly, but he drifted toward whatever was easy. Toast, crackers, a bit of this and that, often the foods that filled him without doing much else. He felt tired and run down and assumed it was simply age. But Clarence was eating small meals made mostly of empty calories, leaving his body short on the very things it needed. When he learned to make those few small meals count, with richer, simpler foods, his energy slowly returned. He wasn't eating more, he was finally eating well. Food number 1, leafy greens and colorful vegetables. If I could get you to add just one thing to your plate every day, it would be vegetables, especially leafy greens and the brightly colored ones. These are some of the most nourishing foods on earth, and they give back far more than they ask. Here's what they do for you. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and collards, and colorful vegetables like carrots, peppers, tomatoes, and squash are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and with antioxidants, which are natural compounds that help protect your body's cells from the wear and tear of aging. The benefits reach nearly every part of you. They support your heart. They're wonderful for your eyes, which matters so much as we age. They help your digestion with their fiber, and they help calm the low-grade inflammation in the body that contributes to so many of the troubles of later life. And here's a beautiful thing about vegetables. The more colors on your plate, the better. Each color brings its own family of nutrients. Green leaves, orange carrots, red tomatoes, purple cabbage. A colorful plate is a well-nourished body. You don't need to overthink it. Just aim for color and variety. Now I know what some of you may be thinking. Vegetables can be hard to chew, or hard to digest, or simply a bother to prepare. So let me give you some gentle ways around that. Cook them until they're soft and tender. There's no rule that says they must be raw. A vegetable soup is one of the easiest, most comforting ways to get several servings at once. A smoothie can blend greens and fruit into something easy to drink if chewing is difficult. And frozen vegetables, by the way, are just as nourishing as fresh, often cheaper, and wonderfully easy to keep on hand. There's always a way. Let me tell you about Gladys. She's 78, and she'd fallen out of the habit of eating vegetables. They felt like too much trouble to cook for one person. She started simply by making a big pot of vegetable soup she could eat from for several days and adding a handful of frozen greens to her meals. Within a few weeks, she noticed her digestion was more comfortable than it had been in years, and she simply felt brighter and more energetic. Such a small, easy change, and it touched so much. Food number 2, fatty fish and other healthy proteins. The second food to aim for regularly is fish, especially the oily, fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, and trout, along with other good sources of protein. Let me tell you why fatty fish in particular earn such a special place. These fish are rich in omega-3 fats, which are among the most studied and most beneficial fats for an aging body. Omega-3s are wonderful for your heart, helping keep it healthy as the years go by. They're also thought to support the brain and memory, which is something so many of us care deeply about as we age. And they help reduce inflammation throughout the body, which is gentle on aging joints and muscles, heart, mind, and body, all from a simple piece of fish. And then there's the protein itself, in the fish and in other sources. Protein is essential after 70. It's the material your body uses to maintain muscle. And holding on to muscle is one of the keys to staying strong, steady, and independent. Beyond fish, good proteins include eggs, poultry like chicken and turkey, dairy foods, and beans and lentils. The gentle, easy-to-eat options are many. So how do you bring this in? You don't need fish every day. Aiming for fatty fish 2 or 3 times a week is a wonderful goal, and it's easier than you might think. Canned salmon and sardines are inexpensive, keep for ages in the cupboard, are already soft and easy to chew, and are every bit as nourishing as fresh. On the other days, lean on those other proteins and eggs, some yogurt, a little chicken or beans. The aim is simply to give your body good protein regularly through the week. Let me tell you about Bernard. He's 74 and he rarely ate fish. It seemed like a fuss to buy and cook. But when he understood how much good those omega-3 fats could do for his heart and his mind, he found the easiest possible path: a few cans of salmon and sardines in the cupboard. A couple of times a week, he'd have one on toast or in a simple salad, no cooking at all. It cost very little and took no effort, and he felt good knowing he was looking after his heart with something so simple. Now we come to the one I promised you at the very start, the most overlooked food of all, the one so many older adults simply don't get enough of, even though their bodies need it every single day, and it quietly affects everything from your comfort to your heart. Food number 3, fiber-rich whole grains and legumes. Here's the one that gets forgotten, and it's a shame, because few things do more quiet good for an older body than fiber. Fiber is found in whole grains like oats and brown rice and whole wheat, and in legumes like beans, lentils, and chickpeas. And a great many older adults simply don't get enough of it. Let me tell you what fiber does, because once you see the full list, you'll understand why I call it the most overlooked food of all. First, and most importantly for many older adults, fiber keeps your digestion moving comfortably and helps prevent constipation, which becomes far more common and far more troublesome as we age. That alone makes it precious. But fiber does so much more. It helps keep your blood sugar steady rather than spiking and crashing, which matters enormously as we get older. It supports a healthy heart by helping manage cholesterol. And it helps you feel comfortably full and satisfied, which is helpful when appetite and weight need gentle managing. Digestion, blood sugar, heart, and fullness, all from one humble nutrient. So where do you find it? In oats, a warm bowl of oatmeal is one of the finest fiber-rich breakfasts there is, soft and easy to eat. In beans and lentils, which are inexpensive, gentle, and wonderful in soups and stews. in brown rice and whole grain breads instead of white, and in those vegetables and fruits we keep coming back to. Simple, familiar, affordable foods, everyone. Now here's an important and gentle word of guidance. If you're not used to much fiber, add it slowly, a little at a time, rather than all at once, because adding too much too quickly can upset your stomach. And drink plenty of water as you increase it, because fiber and water work together. And as always, if you have any digestive condition or ongoing tummy troubles, do check with your doctor about what's right for you. Let me tell you about Mildred. She's 80, and for years she'd quietly struggled with sluggish, uncomfortable digestion, something many older people endure without ever mentioning it. She'd been eating mostly soft white bread and low-fiber foods. Gently, slowly, she began adding fiber, a bowl of oatmeal in the mornings, beans in her soups, switching to whole grain bread, and drinking more water alongside. Over a few weeks, the discomfort that had troubled her for years eased considerably, and she felt lighter and more comfortable in her own body. She told me she wished someone had explained fiber to her a long time ago. Foods number 4 and 5, berries and fruit, and dairy or calcium-rich foods. Let's bring in the last two together because they round out everything beautifully. Food number 4 is fruit, and especially berries. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries are little treasures for an aging body. They're rich in those protective antioxidants we talked about, the ones that help defend your cells. And there's good reason to think they're especially kind to the brain and memory. They're full of vitamin C for your immune system, and fiber too. And beyond berries, all fruit brings vitamins and gentle natural sweetness. Fruit is wonderful because it's so easy. No cooking. Naturally soft options like bananas and ripe pears, and berries you can simply rinse and eat or stir into yogurt or oatmeal. A handful of berries on your breakfast is one of the easiest healthy habits there is. Food number 5 is dairy or other calcium-rich foods for the sake of your bones. After 70, keeping your bones strong is so important because strong bones are what protect you from a serious break if you ever fall. Calcium is the mineral your bones are built from, and you'll find it in milk, yogurt, and cheese. Yogurt especially is gentle, easy to eat, and good for digestion too. If you don't take dairy, calcium also comes from leafy greens, from fortified plant milks, and from canned fish with soft bones like sardines and salmon. And remember from our earlier videos that vitamin D works hand in hand with calcium to keep bones strong. Another reason that fatty fish and a little sensible sunshine matter. Let me tell you about Vernon. He's 77, and he added just 2 easy things to his daily routine: a handful of berries on his breakfast and a pot of yogurt each day. That was it. Nothing dramatic. But he was giving his body antioxidants, fiber, vitamin C, calcium, and more every single morning in about 2 minutes of effort. He said it was the easiest healthy change he'd ever made, and it became something he genuinely looked forward to. So let's put it all together into a simple, ordinary day. By now you might be picturing 5 separate shopping trips and a lot of cooking. But here's the wonderful truth. These 5 foods fold into a normal day so easily you'll barely notice the effort. Let me show you just as a friendly example. For breakfast, a bowl of oatmeal, there's your fiber-rich whole grain, topped with a handful of berries, which gives you your fruit and antioxidants, and a pot of yogurt on the side for your calcium. Look at that. 3 of the 5 foods before you've even left the kitchen, in a breakfast that takes minutes and is soft and easy to eat. For lunch, a hearty vegetable and bean soup covers your vegetables and more fiber, perhaps with whole grain bread. And for dinner, a piece of fish, fresh or simply from a can, alongside a generous helping of colorful vegetables. And through it all, water to drink, sipped steadily through the day. That's all 5 foods, woven through one perfectly ordinary day, with no special skill and very little cost or effort. Greens and vegetables, fatty fish, fiber-rich grains and beans, berries and fruit, and dairy for calcium. And here's the principle I most want you to remember. It's about being consistent, not perfect. You won't manage all 5 every single day, and that's completely fine. Nobody does. Just keep these foods in mind, keep them in your kitchen, and gently steer toward them when you can. A few good choices made most days add up to something powerful over time. And don't forget your water. It helps everything else work as it should. Let me tell you about Phyllis. She's 75, and instead of trying to change everything at once, she simply made these 5 foods her shopping list. Greens, fish, oats and beans, berries and yogurt. Those went in the cart every week, so they were always there to reach for. She didn't follow any strict plan. She just kept good food on hand and ate it when she could. Over a couple of months, she felt more energetic, more comfortable, and more like herself than she had in a long time. She'd changed almost nothing about how she lived, only what was waiting in her kitchen. So let's bring it all together, because it really is this simple. After 70, what you eat matters more than ever, because you're often eating less while your body absorbs less, so every bite needs to count. 5 simple everyday foods can nourish nearly your whole body. First, leafy greens and colorful vegetables for your heart, eyes, digestion, and so much more. Second, fatty fish and healthy proteins for your heart, your mind, and your muscle strength. Third, the most overlooked of all, fiber-rich whole grains and legumes for comfortable digestion, steady blood sugar, and a healthy heart. Fourth, berries and fruit for protective antioxidants, your immune system, and your memory. And fifth, dairy or other calcium-rich foods to keep your bones strong and protect you against breaks. None of this asks you to diet, to give things up, or to count anything. It asks only that you gently add these good, simple foods to your days and lean toward consistency rather than perfection. Keep them in your kitchen, reach for them when you can, drink your water, and let these small, kind choices quietly look after your whole body. Because eating well after 70 was never about doing more, it's about making what you eat truly count. And now the important note I promised you. I'm not a doctor, and this is general information, not medical advice. Before making any major changes to your diet, please talk with your own doctor, especially if you have a health condition such as kidney problems, diabetes, or any digestive condition, or if you take medications, since some foods can interact with them or may need to be limited for your particular needs. Your nutritional needs are unique to you, and your doctor is the right person to guide them. Please think of this as a starting point for that conversation. Taking good care of yourself was never meant to be complicated. It can begin with something as simple and pleasant as a bowl of oatmeal and berries, a good soup, a piece of fish, ordinary comforting food that quietly keeps you well. Small, kind choices made day after day that help you stay healthy, strong, and independent. I'd truly love to hear from you on this one. Tell me in the comments, how many of these 5 foods are already part of your days? And which one will you add this week? Your answer might be just the encouragement someone else watching needs. If this was helpful, tap that subscribe button so the next video finds you. And speaking of the next one, you'll want to watch this video right here, where I share easy, nourishing meal ideas for seniors who live alone, so eating well stays simple no matter what. I'll see you over there. Until then, take good care of yourself